Well, folks, you're just gonna have to start calling me Mo the way that I...
Keep moving.
I'm moving to Denver. That's what that meant. It's a welcome change. It's a wonderful new adventure. It's an invigorating new chapter in the Autumn Bottom Brown bibliography. But unfortunately, in my new apartment, this old gal simply will not fit. So this will be the final video that I ever film on the cool casual couch in the cool casual living room. I know. It's fine. I'm not gonna cry. We've seen enough of these tears. All right. No more. So I thought, sorry. What better way to say goodbye to this wonderful little spot that I've created here for me and for you guys than to make a video that many of you have been asking for over a year now. A video to say goodbye by saying hello and hearkening back to the beginning of my entire YouTube career. Well, not my entire YouTube career. I mean, let's be real. I was making videos before Interview with a Vampire, but no one cares about those. And I don't blame you. They're interesting. I'll give me that. Am I gonna die tonight? But we're going back to the beginning. That's right. The beginning, the end. The pilot episode of Interview with the Vampire. We're gonna watch through it, and I'm just gonna have a grand old time, okay? So I hope you're prepared for a lot of pausing, a lot of squealing, a lot of me just generally losing my mind. And if you're not okay with that, why the fuck are you here? Seriously, if this is your first video with me, boy, do you have a big storm coming. Without further ado, and without further ado, so stupid. So without further ado, let's watch season 1, episode 1 of Interview with the Vampire. Do we think? Shall we? Shall we indulge? I think so. For the last time, we are going to embody all things cool, calm, and casual. Play. I have to hit the remote to play. It won't do it on command. Such a simple, wonderfully executed opening title here. The dual skylines, both representing vampire fangs. They separate. The discordance within the music. It's not a melody. It's not a song. It's us warming up. We don't know what the orchestra is about to play until we watch it unfold. Oh, it's so good. And the way that they'll change San Francisco, New Orleans, Paris, World War II, Eastern Europe. Brilliant. We're not even to the episode, and I'm already pausing. I hope you guys are prepared for hour-plus long videos once again. Hey, babes, we might just get to that 2 hours, all right? We'll see. I can do this. I can do this. Cool, calm, casual. And Throes of Increasing Wonder!
There are stories out there that need to be told. There's shit out there that's just, wrong.
Who amongst us? Amongst? Whatever. Was not fooled by this. I 100% was like, I paid for no ads. What the fuck is this, AMC? I'm disputing my credit card charges because you're giving me an ad right now. And I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot for not immediately recognizing Eric Bogosian as an actor. I immediately recognized him, but I couldn't figure out from what. So I was like, oh, I guess he probably is a reporter. No.
You still want this job? It's your money. I'm Daniel Malloy.
Disappointedly watching himself. Big same, brother. Big same. Ooh, I love a tease. What's that, guys? What do we think that is? Crazy little scar on his neck.
Yes, that's right. I have an appointment.
Let's zoom in on the package. He's on a phone call with his doctor, but we're zooming in on the package. We know that the package is important before we even know what's in the package. This is so feral me. Why get a knife? Why get a key? Why get anything when your bare hands can just rip the tape up and get into this package? I'll use my teeth. I'll use my toenails. I don't care. Louis the Butterlock.
I gotta call you back.
That. This show does such a good job of telling us things without spelling it out for us. This man is on a phone call with his doctor. The doctor called him. He did not call the doctor. He's been waiting on this call to come. So it's important. Do you know how difficult it is to get a hold of your doctor? And yet, when he opens up this package, he sees the name that's on the envelope in the package. He is immediately so intrigued and so engulfed in what this could mean. He hangs up on the doctor. He has to step away from his doctor, the person who is keeping him alive, or at least making his life more livable and better at this point in time, because he needs to understand what the fuck this package is about. That tells you so much about who Louis DuLacs is before we ever see him on screen. And I think this show does a wonderful job of introducing character before we really ever get to meet them. And we'll talk more about that later on. But why put off milking the cow tomorrow when you could have the butter today? Hi, I'm Denver Autumn, here to chime in for this stressed out little bitch for the rest of this video. Well, hi, it's Editing Autumn, here to step in when Denver Autumn forgets to hit record on the microphone, thus resulting in horrible audio where you can barely hear what I'm saying from all the steps and room tone. She fucked it up immediately. First try filming in a new location. Immediately screwing the pooch. But anyways, what she was trying to say is we see this already played out with Daniel's character introduction. We start the show with this masterclass ad, which not only cleverly and quickly gives us appropriate backstory into Daniel's character and his life and who he is, but then we have this hard cut to him watching himself in sweats on the couch. And it kind of lends itself to this idea of perception and projection versus, who you are beyond all of that. Who are you? That's a question that the show asks, and we have to dig to figure out and find. And it's one of those eternal questions that it'll take forever and ever to get there. Is that a question that we can ever really define? I don't know. Maybe this show will let me know. So we have this hard-hitting Pulitzer Prize winning journalist. He's going to teach you how to become a journalist just like him. And then old Papa on the couch in his sweats, working on a puzzle, getting his mail. And when we see him pull out, the stereo to listen to the tapes, we see, all this memorabilia of stuffed animals, old toys. So we know this guy's probably had kids, and yet he's here alone on, I'm guessing, a Saturday morning, all by himself. And you get this sense of loneliness from him that I think Louis and Daniel share. Obviously, Louis reaches out to Daniel because he knows that or at least in my opinion, I think that he very purposefully reaches out to Daniel because he's bored, as he says, he's lonely, and he knows that there's something afoot and something fishy going on with his relationship with Armand. And why not try to reach out to the world's greatest journalist to dig his nose into it all and figure it out, help him figure it out. But again, I think loneliness plays a big factor in this. And that's a huge theme with Anne Rice's stories and vampires in general, this idea of being lonely. So I think, yes, Louis calls out to Daniel, but we see this phone call not only tells us so much about Louis, but it tells us so much about Daniel. He's going to hang up the call with his doctor because this is so intriguing to him now. He wants to figure out more about Louis and why he's reaching back out to him. That tells us a lot about him as well. Partially like, okay, yeah, this is a good journalist. He cares about it. He sees a story. He's got to go after it. He's a little dog in the dirt digging. But also, I think like he does this because he doesn't really have a lot else going on. And this gives him a spark, a little bit of energy, a little bit of intrigue. But I think he's a lonely guy looking for something and trying to find it. And boy, does he. Boy, does he. And teasing the bite in the first 2 minutes of the show. We don't get that payoff until season 2, episode 5. There's a lot of forethought that goes into the show that is just devastating. It's devastating to go back and watch and be like, they were telling me this all along and I wasn't picking up the clues. We love to see it.
Dear Mr. Malloy, I hope this letter finds you safe and thriving.
Can I just say,
Following your career with some interest since our last meeting.
Jacob Anderson, the things that you do
All your success.
with this character.
Those
In the palm of the peninsula. It's like a giant spider or a centipede just waiting to entrap and eat whoever comes there. Oh, but back to Jacob, a revelation. I mean, no tea, no shade.
health and pride
Who am I kidding? All tea, all shade. Brad Pitt, who?
in a week's time.
Truly revolutionary work. You can't overlook what the writers contributed to this character, but at the end of the day, baby, this is all Jacob.
49 years and thousands of miles removed from the room we shared in San Francisco, I offer, for your journalistic pleasures, my full attention and my life story.
Ew!
Louis de DuLacs.
Say it again, babe. Say it again. And I think the decision to set all of this new, this present storyline in Dubai is such a fascinating choice because as Armand says, in episode 4, Dubai is a child. It's a newer metropolis, at least the Dubai that we know now. It's brand new. It's not ancient. It's not of the past at all. And it's kind of reflective, as we find out later on, of this relationship with Louis and Armand and who Louis is, kind of leaving the past behind entirely, running from it and masking with what he has right now within the present time. So going to a city that's extremely modern and extremely wealthy and rich and can deprive him of that connection to humanity and that connection to himself that he hasn't been able to that he's tried to let go of, but hasn't been able to. So sever that. Severance. Streaming now on Apple TV. And go live in the tallest room and the tallest tower, high above anything and anyone else.
I wasn't sure you'd remembered me. Your book makes no mention of our prior meeting.
Not salty about that at all. It's fine.
Memoir, drugs,
It's fine.
That's the sun out there. Where's your coffin?
You're standing in it. I have to be very careful whom I let in.
Where's your coffin? You're standing in it. I have to be very careful who I let in. Like, oh, that's how you tell story. Sure. He could be discussing simply literally. The windows have been tinted to where they won't harm his skin. The UV rays won't come through. He's fine. This is just his coffin, his safe place. Or is it his coffin, the place where he goes to die, to die, to die inside? And he must be careful who he lets in, not just into his home, into his life, one might say. Oh, she's a cheese. She's a big block of cheddar.
Yeah, well, things didn't end well the last.
Knowing what we know from season 2, if you haven't watched season 2 yet, sorry, skip this bit. Like Armand being the one to open up the window, just this one little track, and being the one to close it back down after what happened in the 70s.
Oh man. Oh God. Oh man.
Allowing him just this much self-harm to prove a point with the past and what happened in the past. I'm gonna have to think about that a little bit more. This is the first time I thought about that. Ooh! Yeah, let's chew on this nice little chunk of steak a little bit more. Here's the thing. Armand, with his funny little iPad, literally controls the sun. He controls Louis' surroundings. It is a prison. It is his coffin, as Louis said. I'm of two minds here because it's so fucked up and controlling that Armand is the one who has control of the light and everything inside the penthouse. However, knowing what we learn in season 2 about what happened when Louis started to, think about Claudia, think about the past and that whole argument, it like kind of makes sense in a fucked up way that Armand would want to like have control of Louis' interaction with the light, even though of course he could go out the door any time. I don't know. It adds a layer to it all that Armand is making sure, okay, fine, if you want to show this off, you can, but only this much. And I'm going to make sure that you don't hurt yourself in the way that you did in the 70s. Not excusing it. It's fucked up behavior. A little bitch. But there's a lot to unpack there. And that's the beauty of this show. You keep watching. I can't tell you how many times I've watched it. I can't tell you how many times. And yet I'm still finding new things to think about. I watch again and again because there's so much layered in here. It's a fucking tiramisu of a show. You got the coffee cake. You got the vanilla cream. You got the cocoa powder. You got, lady fingers. Sorry for doing that. But you get what I'm saying. There's always more to unpack.
After all I told you, is what you asked for, boy. Yeah, well, you don't know what human life is like. I mean, you've forgotten, man.
I wish I had an apple just to bite into. This is juicy. This is juicy with future connotations.
You were disrespectful.
Yeah, he was.
You were not worthy of my story then.
Maybe your story wasn't worth telling.
Can you imagine telling the vampire who very nearly killed you half a century before, like, I don't know, babe, have you ever considered that maybe your life story is just kind of shit? I mean, he's got guts. You can't say he doesn't. And with the set dressing, I'm just so enamored by the mixture of modern, very cold, very concrete furniture and the set, the apartment and everything. The penthouse, my bad. They don't live in an apartment. I live in an apartment. They live in a penthouse. But the modernity, of the styling mixed with the antiquity of like the tea set and the teacup and the madeleines. Are they madeleines? I'm just guessing. But still, the old and the new. And it represents visually this battle between the past and the present, the future, the modernism that Louis is going through. You see the split within himself. Like he can't get over the past, but he wants to push it behind him. He wants to leave it behind. The blacks and the grays and the reds, it's very brutalistic, defined by the antiquity in there, but it still feels like it's going to come out and eat you. The idea of having the bacons, the creatures, the crucifixion of Christ or something, the Catholicism weighing down over him everywhere he goes, and it's these monsters, these bacon monsters. It's just brilliant.
Why again? What's changed?
The world, circumstances, me, I've changed. And I too find the tapes lacking.
I too find the tapes lacking. They literally are. They literally are. We're foreshadowing, not just in subject material, and the fact that Daniel was an idiot when he was younger and high and looking for drugs. But the tapes are literally lacking because Armand erased the final minute or so of the tapes, revealing the truth about their argument and what happened after the argument. First 10 minutes of the show, they're literally lacking. The tapes are literally lacking. Oh, yeah.
Truth and reconciliation.
Truth and reconciliation, the theme of these first 2 seasons. That's the through line at the very end of it all, is it not? And we established that in the very first episode, within the first 10 minutes.
Anything that can't be verified, I send to my researcher.
No third parties.
This bitch. You slippery little sea snake. You freaky little Gila monster. Bouncy little clown castle. Do y'all remember when we were watching this for the first time and we were like, damn, who's this cute little twink just chilling in the corner? Rip. All right, the first time I rewatched season 1, after season 2 came out, I just sat on the couch, arms crossed, every time Armand was on screen, shaking my head and just saying, this dirty little fucking hoe. Dirty hoe. I can't believe you would lie to me like this. I can't believe that I allowed myself to be lied to by you because, I mean, didn't we all know that this is where it was going?
Across from Mr.
Louis Dupont DuLac.
So, Mr. DuLac, how long have you been dead?
Gorgeous. Gorgeous, 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 man. This transition. Oh, this transition. People just are not paying enough attention to good transitions these days. And you need to with a show like this where you're flipping back and forth from the present day to the past through multiple decades in the past. You gotta nail those transitions. It all flows seamlessly together, you know? You get the sense, the way that each scene carries on to the next, that this is all part of the same ongoing story, whether we're in the present or in the past. And I think that's so well done through the cinematography and through the transitions in the show, like this one. And once again, I shall say, if you have not watched the interview with Mara LaPere-Sloop, you must, because we talk about how she utilized lighting throughout the first season of the show to kind of track the trajectory of Louis and Lestat's life, mainly Louis's life, obviously, and how we go from this really warm, new amber electric lighting into cooler tones of lighting as the decades progress. I think it's so interesting to try to, you know, define and articulate a vampire character's life through lighting, because that's the one thing that's really going to rule their life, is how the world is lit within the dark. And you can get into all the symbolism and all the metaphors of that you wish to. There's so much to unpack there. But so outside of the lighting, outside of this gorgeous amber, for this transition to start us off in a random corridor, and then it opens up into the world of Storyville in 1910s New Orleans. It's like Alice stepping through the rabbit hole for the first time. We see just this little archway, the lights, and then what? The world unfolding before us. Girl, that's brilliant.
That was the old red light district, yeah?
20 blocks of drinking, gambling, and gluttonous whoring.
Okay, so as the honorable executor of the family's estate...
The first little semblance we see of Lestat in this show, caption, gluttonous whoring on the screen.
Why don't you go back to your home on Whore Island?
...estate you were in what business exactly, Mr. DuLac?
You could
Oh,
say
and he
I
sees
managed
him.
an
He sees him. This is the thing. This is the thing. They build this in. We don't even know how important this moment is. We don't even know. And this is what I'm talking about with peppering in character before we ever really get to meet them. Obviously, if you have any knowledge of the source material, whether you've read the book or you watched the movie, like me at this point when I'd watched the pilot for the first time, I just read the movie, but I knew when we were, dollying in that little blonde hair, that was Lestat. That was someone that we needed to pay attention for. We see him thumbing through the blue book. We see him turn watch Louis, we shift focus to Louis, and we're gone. We don't see him till later. However, he's introduced this early on when Louis is initially first discussing who he is, who his history is, and what he's doing in Storyville to Daniel. We get this glimpse of him in this initial moment where Lestat first lays eyes on Louis de Point du Lac. And I feel like even anyone who doesn't have a concept for, you know, who this character could be, we know that it's someone who's going to pop up again later, because why are we pushing in? He's important, but we're not to him yet. But he's haunting the narrative. He is always present. He is always there, lingering in the background. And again, that's another through line of this whole first 2 seasons is Louis, no matter what he does, no matter what he says, he can't shake Lestat. Lestat is there in the background.
Created a diversified portfolio of enterprises.
Close up on the cane. The cane that really locks
And it came
Lestat
in as many
in.
forms as there were ways to move.
God damn it, Bricks.
He stuck it in my shit box.
I did no such thing.
Gave him a chance to pull out. He kept on fucking. So I gave him a little squirt of my catfish dinner for going there. Don't believe me? Check his dick.
Who the fuck you talking to? I ain't taking no man's dick.
Oh, God.
Hell, I might have even said yes if you just asked, but I don't care who he is. You put a dick in an asshole without asking, that's against Jesus. Fuck you.
That's the moment that I knew this show was different. That was the moment that I knew, wait a second, I might actually need to really start watching.
Get your hands off me, nigga.
And now, the importance of race and storytelling from a white person's perspective. Listen, I remember in 2019 reading the Entertainment Weekly or Variety, whatever article saying that, hey, AMC is going to make an Interview with a Vampire show. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And hey, they're going to change Louis de Point du Lac, who originally was a white slave-owning man, into a black man at the turn of the century, 20th century. And I thought, oh God. Because I really think at this time, studios were just kind of, at times, changing race, changing gender, changing sexuality, just for the sake of getting some brownie points to be like, look, we have a representation.
Now give us your money.
Like Star Wars and their, wow, incredible first gay kiss moment. Quick enough to be easily edited out for maximized earnings. That changed the world. Guys, guess what? Homophobia, it doesn't exist anymore thanks to that. So I remember thinking, please don't let this be like that. I felt like a lot of mainstream shows and movies would swap the characters out with any consideration for what it would actually mean in this world that the character is living in for them to be a woman, or for them to be black, or for them to be gay, or whatever. That does play a part in who your character is. That plays a part in how you interact with the world and how the world interacts with you. To pretend like it doesn't can oftentimes do a disservice to that character and then give credence to all the fucking bigots out there who are like, you see, and this is why we don't need diversity in shows and movies. That's more harmful to representation than it is helpful. Certain shows, yeah, you can do colorblind casting, you can do genderblind casting, and it's fun and it works because within that movie or show, those factors don't necessarily play a part into the world that they've created that is separate from our world. But something like this, where you're telling the story of this human, his turn into a vampire, and what propelled him to take that turn into being a vampire, race and sexuality are important. I think lesser writers and lesser shows will take a similar approach to a period piece with a person of color and show racism happening to that person, and they almost kind of look to the camera and say, that's bad. This is terrible. Racism is bad. Yeah, it is. I'm going to take a bold leap here, guys. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. Discriminating against a person based on their skin color? I don't think that's very cool. I know. Give me my purple heart. But I think this show does a great job of showing how Louis has to just internalize all those attacks against him, those subtle and not so subtle microaggressions, like being called the N-word, or later on at the poker table when Tom Anderson says there's what is it, like capital investment, and then there's labor pointing to Louis. It's not very micro, those aggressions, but still, he just has to kind of swallow it and go on with his life. And it's him just having to deal with it and know that he cannot make the same business deals and have the same opportunities that Lestat or Tom Anderson or Alderman Fenwick can. He doesn't have that freedom to move about the world because of his race. And then also, like, that's not even touching the whole like thing with his sexuality. Louis cannot be with someone who he's maybe attracted to out and open and into public. Whereas at Lestat, at least, he's attracted to anybody and everybody who moves. Okay, you got a heartbeat, he's turned on. Like, if he sees a woman he's attracted to, boom, he can go out, he can proudly shove it off in public and no one bats an eye. And also, he's a white man, so he can like go and do whatever he wants in the world without having to think twice about it. Whereas Louis has to think so much about everything that he does and how he's perceived, and can't let that perception falter in any way. And that sets up Lestat simply just not understanding Louis's need to put on a front and need to not be himself at each and every moment. Lestat's all expression. Louis is all repression, and that sticks even after his turn when Lestat's like, you're a vampire now, you're released from all of that. Louis denies himself the full experience of being a vampire because denial and suppression are so intrinsic to who he is, along with the good old Catholic guilt that he has about his relationship and his turn and what happened with Paul and what happened with his family, etc., etc., etc. And I think it's much more important to show that and show, you know, the fallout from that and how that like just twists and builds into this like mangled spring of a character for Louis, which is just such good drama and such good storytelling. Did you hear that? Did you hear my stomach? She hungry.
What wickedness is it tonight?
You're not helping me here, Paul.
Oh, but I am. The Lord told me to come, Louis.
The Lord told him to come on the very first night that Lestat sees him. Oh my God! Do you understand? It really paints this picture of like Paul the angel on one shoulder and Lestat the devil on the other shoulder. And it really does instill this sense of distrust between, did Lestat have something to do with Paul's death ultimately? Because the Lord apparently told Paul to come again on the night that Lestat sees him for the first time. The Lord wanted to dissuade him from it. However, self-fulfilling prophecy. It's Louis coming out and doing this, Paul coming there, that really latches Lestat on. Oh my God! Jesus wanted them together. Jesus is a Loustat stan. Okay? Yeah, that's what I'm getting from this. That's what you're getting? Me too.
Get on home, else I'll bleed you like a cochon, bruh.
Did I want to pull a knife on my brother?
Oh.
No. But, as I alluded to before,
Again, there he is, just outside of frame.
on liberty. You never knew who was watching.
You never know who's watching. Who might be watching? Who is that? I just don't know. We're not going to get into it yet. But trust, we'll come back to it later.
This is just a temporary situation until Louis can find us some more respectable business.
We wonder where Louis gets his delusion from. You're looking right at her. You're looking right at her. We also see too the weight and importance of their livelihood. You know, it's up to him to change their family standing and what they do. Like, this all rests on his shoulders.
Your man Levy's a Baptist, no respect for the Holy Mother.
Paul.
That's
He's
true.
gonna make your daughter jump a broom.
I'm sitting right here.
Plenty of brooms down the street at the Mayfairs Sisters home.
You see, that's how you make a clever little allusion to another show within the immortal universe, okay? Blink and you miss it. You don't even know that it's there. Plenty of brooms down at the Mayfair Witches' home. Why? I just said the Mayfair Witches' home. The Mayfair Sisters' home. I ruined it there because the Mayfair Witches, okay? He's the witches, brooms. You get it. All right, we're going on.
No, Bird. Point of fact, I love him more than anyone.
This shot right here, it's so beautiful. And again, I just love how, because, you know, based on the first interaction that you see on screen, it just goes to show how much Louis has to front, because we see in this scene now how much they love each other, how much he enjoys being around his brother Paul, and how despite the fact that Louis pulled a knife on him the night before, Paul is still walking with him to church. Yeah, sure, he's going to tattle to Maman at breakfast about it, but ultimately, there's nothing that can sever that bond between them. Like, they still love each other so much. And that's how siblings are, you know? You pull a knife on him one night, the next morning you're casually walking to church together having a good old chatty time.
You know you can always come here if you're in need, son.
He will be in need soon.
Louis DuLacs.
Now that is a madam.
Can
Can I just say Miss Carol is elegance defied.
Private game on Friday if your date book is free, Louis.
Can do, Mr. Anderson.
You see? And we're alluding to the poker game that happens later on that Lestat gets himself into, sneaks his way into. We're just building these little blocks as we go along. Begs the question, guys, how long do we think that Lestat was sitting there waiting on Louis to show up? I mean, he had to know. Like, from the moment Louis walked through the door, listening out for him, listening into this poker game conversation. He's like, I gotta get myself there, girl. Poker? I hardly know her. Hey, them cards aren't the only thing that he was hoping to get poked that night. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Miss Lily.
Bonsoir, monsieur. You speak French? How'd you manage to get yourself through the front door?
He ain't never passed a night where he didn't find his mouth to be the perfect receptacle for his foot, now did he?
Je suis désolé. Je m'amuse trop en privé.
Like, you can tell, he's like, it is go time. Sexy voice, engaged.
I owe you everything. Please join us.
I know sometimes men of my race, we all look alike to you people.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Handing out a business card with no other information other than your name and gilded ink. Like, why do this? Doesn't even have, like, an address for his lawyer to get in contact with him. Bitch can't read, that's why. All he knows is his name. Before anyone comes for me, I know that he can read at this point. Autumn, it's really not fair for you to, like, make jokes about him being illiterate because he was a country lord in 17th century France. He didn't have access to being able to learn, and that's actually, like, really hard and harrowing for his story. And, like, the whole Gabrielle thing, like, she knew how to read, but she wouldn't teach him how to read, and that's, like, really unfair, and how dare you bring that up? Shut up. There's just, like, a picture drawn on the back of Lestat giving it to Louis. Again, illiterate king. He doesn't know how to use words.
I know sometimes men of my race, we all look alike to you people.
You people.
I didn't say, you know, townhouse.
Louis,
Clock him.
have a seat.
But again, like, with the role that race plays into this show and everything, Louis immediately being defensive, saying, I know that people of my skin color all look the same to someone like you, but I didn't say, you know, a townhouse, because I immediately thought the exact same thing. He mistook him for another person, but no, we find out, of course, that he immediately fell in love with him, which who wouldn't? Look at the mug. Look in the mug. Braggadocious little bitch.
So I'm out on the Crescent Coast.
Me too,
Floating
girl.
past your
Me
village.
too.
Then there was food.
What's been your favorite this year, Mr. Liancourt?
A favorite.
A favorite. Oh,
To my head.
I love his face. I love his face.
Staring me down as his hands went wandering the seams of Miss Lily's dress.
The disrespect.
I wanted to take the end of my cane and slit his throat with it.
And he will.
Why didn't you?
Foreshadowing.
I couldn't move.
He will.
My body was seized with weakness. His gaze tied a string around my lungs.
What else was happening in your body, Louis? Just curious, just asking. From a scientific standpoint, no other reason.
I've emptied a bank vault sampling, I must say, but it was not until a few nights later.
He looks so freakish and scary, but alluring. The music fading out.
Lestat, unpack
And
your
then
trunk.
back.
You're home.
Oh! Again, sound design.
Sages now.
That was to be my destiny. And now I know I was right. Only it turns out the saint is not a city, but a handsome man with a most agreeable disposition.
You're his destiny, Louis.
You are his destiny.
Destined to be very good friends.
very good friends, and they were roommates. Oh my god, they were roommates.
Wonderful to meet you. I do hope I run into you again, Louis.
Do we think he's gonna run into Louis again? Do we think? This is just absolutely padded room level insane energy that Lestat brings to this first meeting. I mean, the only thing crazier is the fact that it fucking worked. Louis, what the hell? Lestat starts the whole thing off by accidentally insulting Louis. Then he cops a feel on Louis's lady, all the while telling him that he's his destiny on 2 minutes into knowing each other. Brother, I would have been. Thank you so much for the time. I'm out of here. No, I wouldn't have, because I love a toxic blonde bitch. This is Sam's first scene as Lestat really, getting to have words and everything. And immediately, I just think it's so crazy how quickly they develop this chemistry between them, even though Louis is like, I hated him. I can't stand him. From the first time I watched it, I was like, oh, shit. She getting hot in the pants. Whoa, what is this? What's happening between these two characters? It's an insane level of chemistry between two actors that's hardly been rivaled. Sam comes roaring onto the screen like a fucking lion in a chicken coop. He's having a heyday. Feathers everywhere.
I wanted to murder the man. And I wanted to be the man.
Sam. He held on to that goddamn card.
But I left thinking of only him.
But like, he doesn't even care. Lestat, it's just, his maker. Vampire bond, that's all. Nothing more than that. I love this scene. Because once again, this was the first time that we really get a sense of like the horror element of this show. Oh, it's built up so well. The light that keeps on coming back on. And playing with his food. I don't know. I just think the first time I watched this, I expected them to leave the horror kind of element behind so that they wouldn't be pegged as a genre show. And yet we have ominous kind of tone of music here. What's happening? We let it sizzle, we let it wait, and then blood, gore, horror, close up on the flame as it shakes. Oh, it's so good! Because at this point, when you're watching, you almost forget that, like, oh yeah, this is Interview with the Vampire. This is about vampires. And it's just a little reminder to be like, hey, just so you know, there's some freak shit happening in here. Don't you worry. Freak shit is on the way. Okay? You don't even know.
Still very peculiar, they say. Each one the same.
Ah!
Small wounds.
Has a man ever been more beautiful? I just don't think so.
Louis, let me introduce you to Mr. Lestat de Leoncourt.
We met already,
He's
Mr.
so
Anderson,
thirsty. Oh
In
my
front of a
god.
florist, wasn't it?
Immediately, as soon as Louis sits down, though, what's he doing? Oral fixation. Let me just show you what it looks like for me to suck away at something. Right, though. Oh my god. Louis de Pointe-de-Lac? Oh. I'm sorry, Dad.
Show your cards.
Oh, I love this. I love how he pretends. Look at this. Acting within acting. And that look of surprise.
Did I not mention
Lestat de Leoncourt, I know what you are. An actor. Disgusting. And the look of endearment from Louis.
Would you mind getting me some more of these money chips?
Money chips. I love the way he doesn't even know what they're called. The money chips? Did I get that right? My English, it's not so good. You say, I'm français. Je suis français.
Ain't Basin Street. But throwing up medicine balls and
oh my god, he's so gone for him. Look at that look. He's just so enamored. He's so in love.
said you'd do it for 10%.
I came to my wealth honestly and at great sacrifice, I might
I
add.
came to my wealth honestly and at great sacrifice. The greatest of sacrifices. He sacrificed his life for it. Oh my God, the illusion to Magnus. These writers care. They Mariah Carey. They have such an intrinsic knowledge of all of these characters and who they are, and just build that in layer by layer, again, from the first episode. And once again, right after that lamppost scene, doubling down on, this is a freak show, don't you forget. Okay? This is weird shit's gonna happen in this show.
I think two pair will win the hour.
Showing off his power. Oh!
I believe there is great
I don't know,
opportunity
just girly
in this
thing.
city. But to seize it, I'll need protection from the wolves.
The fact that they would include that line, you'll need protection from the wolves. You don't need protection from the wolves, you are the wolf killer, Lelio. But he never wanted to be. That ruined him. It broke something in him to be the wolf killer. He wants protection from the wolves. Oh God, it's beautiful. This kind of shows, like, at least in my mind, who he is and how he wishes he didn't have to be that person, because that moment in his life crushed him. It ruined him. It altered him forever. And ultimately, it is the thing that led to his turn to vampiredom, you know? It's the thing how that drew Magnus into him. Yes, obviously it was also his looks and his presentability and like sexuality, but being the wolf killer. That's what drew Magnus in and changed his life forever. And maybe I'm reading too much into this, but I don't feel like I am. That he wishes he had had protection from the wolves. He had protection from this. His life would be totally different. It would be over. He wouldn't still be alive, but it would be totally different had he had that protection from the wolves. And Louis can be that for him. That's what he sees. That's what he saw when he saw Louis pull a knife on his brother. Someone who could help look out for him while he looks out for them too. Ooh, Sorry, we're fine. This is my mouse pad. It's fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. And I think this scene is so delicious to go through because Lestat is putting on such a show. He is an actor. He's acting. He doesn't know how to play poker. Can he have some more of these money chips, please? Like, Lestat is very much performing for Louis, not only in him pretending to not understand how to play poker, but also in his proposition to Louis. He knows he can't just come right out and say, hey, dude, I think you're hot stuff. You want to kick it back at my place and just see how things go? So he's got to lure Louis in another way. He's got to appeal to Louis in a way that will be acceptable for him to be able to spend time with him. And he does that by appealing to this kind of nurturing, entrepreneurial side of him. You know, I could help you out, obviously, as I am here. And you can help me out too. And this can be a mutually beneficial relationship thing that we have going on. No funny business. We're just going to be bros. We're just going to be guys, right?
What's better than this? Guys being dudes.
Louis should have said fucking no. Are you kidding me? This happens in front of me? Well, let's be honest. I would say yes too. But a normal person would have been like, girl, this has been so fun. Thank you so much for the poker game. Thank you so much for that winning full house. Was that a full boat? Whatever. But I'm a God-fearing Christian woman. I simply do not dabble with the devil and his devilry. So I'm going to say goodbye and peace. That's how a normal person responds in this situation, not Louis de Pontelac.
He wouldn't tell me how he did it. His trick to make the world stop.
Love. Oh, and they're on the bench. They're on the bench together. Oh, they're so in love. I can't. Oh.
So you played docent to the gentleman vampire.
He had not revealed his vampire nature yet.
Yeah, I just didn't feel like you've spoken to my brain and stopped time, but overall, he was normal.
Perfect cover for a vampire.
Racing ahead again, Mr. Malloy. Let the tale seduce you. Just as I was seduced.
You were seduced, Louis. You were seduced. But you also seduced, Louis. You also seduced. What is this if not seduction? Taking him out like this, them going on little dates to update his wardrobe to make him look better, Louis having final approval on everything, checking him out in the mirror. You look good, sir. You sure look good, babe.
I found myself for the very first time, to anyone other than Paul, confiding my struggles to another man.
They're so in love.
I was being...
Oh my God, this is one of my favorite shots.
And I was completely unaware it was...
The way that he looks over and he's staring so hungrily at him. He wasn't being hunted. He was being courted. Lestat didn't want his blood. He wanted him.
Good man making noise.
You'd have to be home to hear that.
I come home nights.
You come home some nights. Out catting with some white man out here.
Iconic line incoming.
He ain't white, he French.
Oh. That's a new kind of white, is it? French white?
He different.
I'll give it to him though. He sure is different.
Invite him over for dinner. Mother loves your opinion.
The tragedy of Louis losing Paul, we discussed that so much, and rightfully so. It obviously is like one of the cornerstones of Louis's life. But I don't think that we talk enough about like the effect of losing Grace as well. It wasn't like losing Florence, losing his mom. You can tell that there's so much love between these two, and it was a hard break. Like, it's so important, so much so that it's a whole plot point in episode 5. It's what Claudia sees when Grace is telling him goodbye. She's like, oh, he needs a sister. This is what I need to be to Louis right now. I need to be his sister because losing that has crushed him. And I think, obviously, losing Paul, horrible tragedy, but Paul wasn't leaving Louis behind. He was just leaving, you know, life behind. Whereas Grace, and rightfully so, you know, after what happened after the birthday party, and just Louis's behavior, she made the choice to leave him behind and to bury him. She had to bury Paul. She chose to bury Louis.
This is how it has to be. For me. For my family.
Shit. I done hurt myself with that one.
Don't deny your sister. I want to meet this French white.
French white. Sounds like a type of latte you would find at like one of those snooty coffee shops. That's always in the nice part of town, the really gentrified part of town. I would bet you $3 whole that if I were to go to a coffee shop in Rhino right now and ordered a French white, that barista would hand me something. They wouldn't ask any questions. They would have something on the menu called that. It might just be a mug full of heavy cream and a cigarette, but they would have something for me. Latte or not, one thing I know for sure is that this French white is a tall drink of water.
My mother, she gave me every advantage in life as a young man.
Talk more about your mother, girl.
And I don't know who gave you the right to call our mother your mother. She's not your mother yet and will never be your scientific mother.
The haterade. At least he's not just hating on Lestat. It's not a gay thing. It's the siblings leaving him thing. He hates the siblings' husbands. Consistency. We love to see that in a character.
Oh, you got Louis to an opera.
Toronto.
About some blind princess, didn't know she was a princess. Stomach got grumbling, left halfway.
His look of hurt here. Like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? You loved the opera. I spent weeks trying to secure tickets to that. Are you kidding me? I planned this date for weeks just for you to say that you don't even care that you left halfway through. I ate gumbo for you. Do you know what that does to a vampire system? I was on the toilet for 3 weeks straight. Okay. Well, he wouldn't be shitting. I'd imagine they probably just throw it up. But still, whatever happens when vampires eat food, that's what happens. That's what we need follow-up on. Rollin, let us know. Season 3. Give us the shit takes. Give us Louis just tearing up the bathroom.
Help me! And what exactly is the nature of your relationship with my brother, Monsieur Leon Cool?
Everybody hold their breath. What's he gonna say?
Your brother and I have been discussing a few investment opportunities.
Oh, is that what the kids are calling it these days? Anyone want to look at some investment opportunities with me later on?
Monsieur Frenier.
Oh my God. Raise your hand if you have been in that situation where you're a newbie and some sort of family or whatever situation, and someone there is just absolutely wrecking the vibe, and you're so uncomfortable, and you're like, I don't know if this is normal. All I know is I hate this, and I'm trying to get out of it.
In a monastery.
He starts out so polite and so genteel. Let's stop putting on a good show. And then the anger comes out.
And under the guidance.
This whole like kind of interaction here, like they're kind of, are they not foils to each other? Lestat wanting to be a priest and getting pulled away from it and pulled to become this devilish creature, whereas Paul wants to pursue it with everything else in his being and influence Louis to choose the Lord's way, whereas Lestat wants to influence Louis to choose his own way. They're constantly at friction. They're literally the angel and devil on Louis' shoulders.
And the failure of Christ to intercede the beatings and starvations.
This is such a wonderful monologue.
All about the testaments, Assisi, Aquinas.
Oh, and the pupils getting water, stop it. And again, we have this moment of tension where he's pulling him in, and we suddenly realize that this is not Paul being confused or anything. This is Lestat doing mind tricks on him.
Not with my family.
And in every instance before, Lestat's been the one in control, but this time it's Louis who has to step in and stop him. And he fucking realizes what he did. He fucked it up. He fucked it up. And he knows it.
I am cursed with my father's temper at times.
Just like a man. Boo.
All right. It's the humidity. It does that sometimes. Why do we have some ice wine?
Underrated line. It's the humidity. Hell yeah, it is. Trust me, the humidity will do that to anybody. I'll tell you that much.
And Levy here can
and this look.
How he won.
He's so embarrassed, and he's got to look over to Louis and make sure that he didn't like completely ruin it between the two of them. He's like, are you ever going to talk to me again? Oh my God, please don't tell me that this is it. I ruined this wonderful moment. You wanted to introduce me to your family, make a good impression. And it's over because I can't control myself. He's all feeling and Louis' somber look. And yet, what happens? He walks him home. He's not put off by it. He walks Lestat home.
Yeah! If your family has taken a permanent offense at me.
When Paul ain't picking at his plate, he picking a fight. If I had your tricks, I'd have done the same.
Your
You must
tricks?
envy him. The lie you told about leaving the opera house early. You were near weeping when the curtain fell. Why hide that from your family?
You see, that's like the key difference between them. Like Louis wants to hide, and Lestat never wants to hide. He wants to be seen, you know? He wants to be known. And until they bridge that gap between the two of them, it's just going to be conflict.
You don't need to defend yourself to me, Louis. I know what you go through to keep your family ignorant in their comfort.
It ain't easy the work I do.
No, it's not.
Nothing but broken souls around me, and the ones that ain't broke,
They love each other so much. Yeah.
Drink up, my good man. The earth's a savage garden.
You did good getting off that boat when you did.
Oh my God, mating call if I've ever seen one. Mating call received and transmitted
Quite at home
back.
here.
He steps backwards with the invitation
Should we have a nightcap?
inside. And what does Louis do? He says, no.
Probably had enough for the night.
While stepping forwards,
Make my rounds
following
back on
after him.
You must, Louis.
Bait,
I bought you a gift.
hook, caught the fish, pulling them
Flower.
in until... Honey, we're about to get above water.
What's that little song playing?
Do you like it? I composed it for a young violinist I once knew. A boy of infinite beauty and sensitivity.
Oh.
I believe that is for the lips, Miss Lily.
I don't like the way my...
Not the reference to Nicholas in the first episode.
Mr. DuLacs.
Oh, not the reference. Oh, God.
A pair of misfit beauties.
Our Father in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. This shot. This shot. I love this shot so much. I could do a whole other 2-hour video about this shot alone. This is genuinely one of my, I know that I've said this a couple times in this episode, but this is really for real, one of my favorite shots in the entire fucking show. The reaching, the longing. Do you see that? He wants to touch Louis so bad. They're all reaching. Lily putting away her lip gloss, Louis readjusting himself on the seat, Lestat blocked by the lamp, blocked by the light of Louis in his longing, in his desire, and once again, control. He pulls back. Not yet. Now's not the time. Just yet. But it's about to be, baby. It's like Louis, without even realizing it, pulling away from Lestat, where Lestat is chasing after him, but he's just out of reach.
They ask you how you are, and you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
Is that not their whole dynamic? Illustrated in this one beautiful, perfect shot. I'm fine. Oh, I think he pets the pillow.
Paranoia you hearing?
No, not yet.
I can assure you the fair play has been handsomely compensated for the...
It's not the moment yet.
I told Mr. Lianku. You and me usually just talk.
Why'd she tell him?
Why you
Ally.
telling me?
Ally.
What kind of a man wastes his waste with words?
He wants Louis to say it so bad. Who wastes a waste like this with words? Come on, Louis. If you have one heterosexual bone in your body, you are not spending the night talking with this
There's
lady.
nothing to be
Okay.
nervous about. The curtains are closed. The servants sent home. Even the planets and stars are blindfolded.
Even
That's your
God
thing, then?
can't see us.
You like to watch?
That's the thing, Louis. God can't see you in this
I've been
townhome.
watching you for some time now, Louis.
Ooh.
From river to lake, lake back to river. Looking for my companion heart.
Looking for my companion heart.
I mean, insane thing to say. He's not subtle. Like, this is so fun to think about because this is, I don't know, like Lestat's first attempt at his, plea to get Louis to be his rock steady #1 forever dude. It's this whole premeditated, orchestrated situation that Lestat is planned out to the T. He's got to get Lily over so that he can do the dance for Louis outside to get him in. And then once we're here and the curtains are closed and all the servants are sent home, now it's go time. And everything goes right. Everything goes right. He does get Lily out of the way. They fuck, they float. Everything's dandy. But then Louis never comes back. So he's like, what the hell? Everything was perfect. And yet, here I am, having to come hunt you down at your brother's funeral, like the world's thirstiest summons server. I thought we were bingo. And yet right now, I am missing the INGO. And it didn't work when everything goes perfectly. And yet somehow, in the church scene, when everything goes terribly awry, that's when Louis says yes.
How you do that?
Do what?
Do what?
Oh!
My head like that.
Such a pretty head.
Take it off. Take it off. Take it off, take it off. Take it off, take it off. Oh, whoa. Eyes fully on each other. Nothing else. Oh my God. I'm just so scandalized watching this for the first time. And they ain't even touching. We don't even see really anything happening. And yet, it's all about the sensuality. Suck us up Saturday! Suck us up Saturday! I gotta chill.
Dormez bien, Miss Lily.
Bye-bye, Miss Lily. Yeah! 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 Fight for it! Fight for it! For the dominance! Who's going to win? And yet, peeling him back, spin him around, it's all a dance. Going into submission. Oh, the haughty want of it all, the haughty desire. And then, biting in the penetration. Oh! Fuck! And what else? What do you expect? Not this! This isn't what we expected, right? This caught everybody off guard. We're floating. Ass, 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 ass. That's what I'm talking about. Here we are. Give in. Holy cross. More ass. More ass. It's beautiful. Name a more beautiful shot than this. You can't. Oh, God. It's a Tuesday night at 11:30. I need to shut the fuck up, but you know, I'm not going to be here for much longer. So what are they going to do? Kick me out? She's moving. I don't know what else you might have anticipated from this moment, but how could I not? How could I not? To first encounters of the third kind. Get it? Cause threesomes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hell yeah, everybody.
Of course, you know that. We met at a gay bar, didn't we, Daniel?
Lore! 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 Lore!
Been married?
Lore! I remember when I finally got my friend Mac. You guys know Mac. We all know Mac. We love Mac. Mac's an icon. He came and he reported back to me after he watched the pilot episode. And I remember him saying, I think it's so fun how they're alluding to the movie within the show. And it's so funny in retrospect thinking about that because I thought the exact same thing while watching this through for the first time. I thought this whole talk about the first interview was a reference to the movie and like just a subtle nod and wink. But once we get to this point where Louie's like, but you know that, Daniel, we met at a gay bar. I was like, wait a second. Is this a separate thing? Was there another interview really before this? Well, what does that mean? What did they talk about? What are we doing here? Why are we doing it again? It just deepens the intrigue and makes you say, well, wait a minute. What the hell happened back then? And we don't get that payoff for another season. I think this is another great example of the extremely clever approach to making this show, how they're using all the books as context for the series that they're creating, because then you can pepper in these little things that we won't have payoff for seasons to come. I mean, we've gotten mention to This Great Conversion, to Akasha, Raglan James, all this other stuff that's we know is not going to pop up until later. So it's just another way to keep your audience interested and coming back for more, which just from a storytelling and writing perspective is extremely clever. You're always going to want to do something to keep your audience hooked. And they do that on so many different levels so well. They keep you interested in the ongoing present storyline, but also all these like intricate little webs shooting off into a million different stratospheres.
When you were using drugs, Mr. Malloy, do you remember the best you ever had?
Number one thing to discuss with a former drug addict. Their very best high. Yes, that's it. Can you imagine your first meeting with someone was because they were so desperate for drugs they were going to have gay sex with you and telling them, imagine your best high, a recovering addict. Imagine your very best high and multiply that to the rings of Saturn and back. And that's how good my first, not love, he's just some guy. But the first time I had dick, that's how good it was. But like, I don't care. He's honestly a weed in the sidewalk of Louis DuLacs' life. Really. Who gives a shit? Not this. Not this. Yeah, that's good. That's the good shit. And like the difference between his care for Louis versus later on we see he heals Louis' wounds. Antoinette later, she got gaping little holes on her neck. He ain't do that shit for her.
It takes an
Look at that
amount of restraint.
Okay, forget what I said earlier. This is one of my favorite shots.
For the first time.
In the arms of the angel.
That's worship. That's worship right there. Look at that face. Look at that face.
First time it was unsettling.
Oh, God, the way they look at each other. The thumb stroking the chest. I can't do it. Like, he is his god. They're each other's gods. Honestly, I think this might be my favorite Lestat outfit. Can I just say, I love it so much. I love a good robe. I love a good robe. Look at that shit-eating grin. Look at that shit-eating grin. That's the confidence of a man who's like, "Ugh, that was half as good for him as it was for me. Oh, he's going to be back tomorrow. He's going to be back stat."
Please. It's for me. My wedding day.
Oh, you can't, how can you deny? How can you deny your baby sister? Nope. Gotta take the shoes.
Shoes are tight. Oh, the shoes is fine. It's the feet that's fat.
See little clips like that. This show's so funny. It's so subtly funny. It endears you to it all the more. Just to fatten you up like an emotional roasting pig and skewer you and roast you over a church pew fire. It's alright. I'm not gonna get in my feelings about anything. I don't care. Oh, and chiming into each other. Oh, it's such a sweet moment. It shows off who they were as boys and who they still are as brothers.
You ain't gonna do it. You ain't gonna do it.
This is so sweet. We have so much fun together. Oh, throw them dollar bills. They earned it. And the party's wrapping up, but they're still here. The only two people still here is the brothers. And this is like, I just think about my siblings and all the stupid shit you get up to with them. And it just feels so natural. Why wouldn't you go up on top of the house and watch the sunrise together? Probably still drunk. Probably 5 pounds heavier than you were the day before, and therefore imbalanced, but just to like be together and be hanging out with each other. Fuck. Don't do it. Don't get weepy. We're not gonna cry. We're not gonna cry. But like, this is the random shit that you do.
Take down the neighborhood.
Oh, I love it so much.
9,517. Remember the day I got taller than you?
Oh, and that's so important. That's so important to siblings. I'm the tallest of my sisters, and can I just say it makes me the best. I'm sorry. We're gonna have to play that line one more time really quick.
Remember the day I got taller than you?
Always bringing that up.
Shot up like a nut all over. Daddy said I was gonna look down on you for the rest of the days.
I have watched this show 847 times. And this is the first time I'm catching that line. Did you hear it? Daddy said, I'll be looking down on you for the rest of days. Why? I don't know if you could tell by everything about me. But I'm just barely hanging on, guys. Hanging on by a thread. Ethically speaking, how many times must I just be devastated by the same fucking show over and over again?
You dance that close, you ought to be married.
And I say every fucking aspect of this show is lovingly thought out with intention and purpose. I mean it. Paul starts talking to Louis about who should get married next. Him. And what do we hear in the background, ever so faintly?
Nah, didn't work out.
Church bells. He is gonna get married next, but it ain't gonna be to Hazel.
'Cause he the devil.
You think everyone's a devil.
But again, this is so sad. Like, watching this unfold and Paul making sure in his final moments, do you think that Levy has enough love for Grace? Are you never going to see Lestat again? Like, those are the most important things he needs to know before he's able to let go. I mean, that's gotta play into his inability to fully accept his relationship with Lestat later on, is just knowing Paul's disapproval. And this idea of maybe him looking down on him, as his daddy said he'd do till the end of days, knowing his angel was up in heaven and he was left on earth with the devil.
I love you, Louis.
I love you too, baby brother.
Oh, no.
I ate too much chicken, okay?
Oh, my God.
Paul. Paul! Oh!
That was the last sunrise I ever saw.
And now we're in darkness. That was the last sunrise he ever saw. Before we were in daytime with Daniel. Now we're in the nighttime, where Louis always exists. Physically and metaphorically. He's never moved on from this moment. We're not gonna cry. We're blinking back the tears. Shut up. Daniel Hart, you bitch.
You need to leave.
I'm sorry. But that... Oh, it's just piercing. It's just... You're already there at the moment of a heartbreak. And that takes you to full obliteration. Oh, and here comes Armand.
I don't miss the sun.
I don't miss the sun. Discussing Paul's death. Who comes into the frame? Separating Daniel from Louis. It's Armand. It's Armand. Lifting the shades. Finally, Armand controls the light. Louis doesn't miss the sun. But is that true? Because this was a loss that defined his life. What was the other loss, other than his humanity, that defined his life? The loss of Claudia, when he did miss the sun and he tried to throw himself into the sun. Are you getting what I'm saying here? Are you following up on the breadcrumbs? I feel like I'm not making a lot of sense because I've had way too much coffee, and like maybe the synapses in my brains just aren't firing off. They're firing off too quickly, but you get it. You get what I'm saying. Yeah. Armand comes in when Louis says that he does not miss the sun. He lifts the shades, allowing him into the night, allowing him out of the coffin now that it's nighttime, protecting him or controlling him. Which is it? Both? Both? Or neither? Controlling? Yeah.
I was at the funeral home. Everything is going as it should. Good men.
I think this is such a delicately performed scene. And I mean, as much as we talk about the bombast and theatricality of this show, what makes that bombast and theatricality work is scenes like this. You have to have levels to your show to make it exciting. If it was all, going to 100, every single scene, we would get exhausted. It would be exhausting to watch it. And I think there's so much wisdom and foresight into having a scene like this that I feel like maybe other directors or writers could very easily be a scene that gets dialed up to 11. Florence yelling at Louis and saying, "Why were you up there?" But instead, it's all so subdued. And I mean, it feels so much more real too to this experience, and who Florence de Pointe-du-Lac is and who Louis de Pointe-du-Lac is and who Grace is. You see so much more of their dynamic by them all just sitting there and in very quiet tones dredging out this horrible tragedy in their family. And there's no other sound other than like the ticking of a clock in the background, and at the very end of the scene some crows. And that's it. That's the only accompaniment, no music or anything to this. It's almost like a ticking time bomb, just waiting for this whole situation to burst and leading to the finale of this episode. And this here, Louis has to take responsibility of his family for every single thing that happens up until the point of Paul's death. even that, he's not excused from the responsibility. Florence blames him. The blame is on him. He has to shoulder that. And it makes so much sense to the point where he is when Lestat comes in and says, 10 minutes down the line in the episode, he's like, you don't need to take all that on. You just need to be who you are and be it without apology for all eternity. You don't need to look out for anyone else other than yourself. Pursue your own pleasure. As long as you do that with me, I can give you everything that you want in life. Like, as long as he's with his family, he can't ever escape that. It's a prison within his family. But then once he becomes a vampire, he imprisons himself in his own ideas of who he should be.
Easy prey for the discerning predator.
What flavor of jelly beans gotta be in your head to make you think that this is the time or the place for this bullshit? This is so distasteful.
And I don't take kindly to being avoided.
Jesus wanted 40 days and 40 nights in the desert without a drop of water, and I still don't think he was this thirsty.
Boss. Keep walking.
It's fucking violent. And he breaks his arm, and we see the consequence of this interaction in the next episode.
Lestat's ambush had disoriented me. The sermon that was given I could not hear.
This music.
And when the gathering cut loose the body, I could not join the transformation of those in attendance.
No!
He would not let me.
Come to me.
Yeah!
Come to me.
Freak. Shit. This is a vampire show. You will not forget it. You'll forget it for a little bit, but you will not forget it ultimately.
Come to me.
I did not go to the wake. I did not want to face my mother's blame. My sister's pity. I wanted to grieve alone. But he would not allow it.
Waiting. Just waiting. How many nights do you think he waited on that balcony? Just waiting for that picture-perfect moment for Louis to walk across the street, rocks in hand, to throw up at his window. And he's like, I'm here, Louis. I'm here for you, and I've been waiting. And he lets him in, and it never happened. How many nights? How many nights?
Police found her under the docks. Said she contracted the fevers that's been going around.
The fever.
Blood went and dried up inside her.
Yum.
You know what? And the crazy thing is, normally, I would find an overlay like that so cheesy. I remember when I watched this episode for the first time, and I had zero expectation. In fact, my expectation for this show was in the negatives. I thought that this show was going to be terrible. And yet, when that shot came up, again, normally I would think, lame, boo. Because who the fuck uses an overlay sincerely in a TV show? And yet, it feels so right. Like it's campy almost, but that's the feeling. Lestat is so present. He's overtaking Louis in this moment. His face appears. His voice appears. He can't hear anything else but Viens A Moi. And it just fits. And it shouldn't work, but it does. It is just brilliant. This show's great. It's fantastic. Okay, we're gonna go on. Help me!
The devil is in New Orleans.
Calm down, son. Take your breath.
Bless me, Father, for I have sinned.
I gotta get my frog pose. To prepare for the performance of a lifetime. Come on. Oh my god. She's not ready. She's just not ready. How Jacob Anderson didn't get any awards recognition for this? Say more, honey. She can't. She's getting sucked in. She's getting transfixed. She's gone. So I will. Listen, I know. Emmys, award shows, it's all bullshit. Truly and genuinely, it doesn't fucking matter. But it's just absurd that a performance that can make me, shut the fuck up and just watch, even though I've seen it 10,000 times. What the fuck are we doing, guys? What the fuck are we doing?
No, son. I lost my mother and sister, and rather than fix it like a man should, Lord, I run like a coward. I run to the bottle, I run to the grift, I run to bad beds. I lay down with a man.
Oh my God.
I lay down with the devil, and he has root.
He knows it's not just tricks. There's gotta be something else to it.
Nothing anymore but his voice and his words. Please, help me! I'm weak! Die!
What's happening? What's happening? Oh my God! He's ripped out. Father Matthias is ripped out of the congregation. What do we have? The fire! Where did the fire come from? Yes! He's monstrous! He's evil! He's the devil! Stop him! Get rid of him, Louis! Under the house of God, under Jesus' discerning eye, he will get rid of him. And yet, he talks back. He's unaffected. He pushes the holy knife against him. Oh, and the way he rises. Unbelievable. Like the freakish creature that he is.
Cut short that magnificent life she was living. What a tragedy.
He's a dirty hoe for that one, though.
That's you. You bringing the death to town.
Bouncing my leg like a dog wagging her tail. What can I say? The bitch got her bone.
I'm not the devil. You were wrong about that.
He's just a guy.
But I can't give you death.
Desperately in love. Let me just slip on out the side here, please, please. And the way his shoulders shrug. Run away, priesty boy. Uh-oh, where's he going? Slow-mo. Yes! Show it off. He is more powerful than you could ever imagine. What is a sprint for you? It's just a casual walk on the pier for him as he closes the fucking door and straight through the brain. You're not making it to brunch tomorrow, bucko. And he appears once again. He's gonna wipe off the blood. He's gonna throw off the coat. It's time for the plea. It's time for the plea. I've gone crazy, and now I need to drive home the emotion.
Every hat you're forced to wear.
I act this crazy because I love you so, baby. And that's a freebie from me, guys. Feel free to use that in season 3, however much you want. Oh, the thunder crash when he falls! What rage you must feel as you choke on your sorrow. I swear to God, if I had $1 for every time the writing on this show made me want to eat a book, I could pay off the student loans of every American! I have got to calm down.
I can take away that sorrow, Louis.
Oh my God.
I can give
Take
you
away
that
my
death
sorrow.
you begged your feeble, blind, degenerate, non-existent God for.
Get him.
But I
can do it. Joyfully.
Swap this life of shame.
Oh my God.
Swap it out for a dark gift.
His pupils are massive. Is this too much to ask for when I'm out at the bar?
You just
I
have
don't
to
think
ask
so.
for it. You just have to nod your beautiful head and say yes. I love you, Louis. You.
It's midnight. Shut the fuck up.
I send my love to you.
Just kill me. Just bury me. Shoot me out of a cannon. Let my body flop around in a lake somewhere.
This home we barely had a glimpse of.
Know that it frightens me.
No, it frightens me as much as it does you.
It is difficult to explain how his words disarmed me, how efficiently.
We need to know. We need to know. We need to see the scripts. Okay. No, we don't. Yeah, we do. They're going to keep the hurricane scene from us. The least you can do is give us this. Let us know what was said here. What does Lestat say to Louis in these moments where Louis is narrating over them? Do you think we'll maybe see that in season 3? Do you think we're going to revisit this in season 3? I don't know. I don't know. Can you imagine? Life is a mystery. Everyone must stand alone. I hear you call my name, and it feels like home. When you call my name, it's like a little prayer. Down on my knees, I wanna take you there. In the midnight hour, I can feel your power, just like a prayer. I wanna take you there. That's in my version of Lestat's version of events. That's what's playing during this scene. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. And that's how it really went down.
All my conceptions, even my guilt and my wish to die, seemed utterly unimportant. And I completely forgot myself. I was seen.
Be my companion. Be all the beautiful things you are. And be them without apology. For all eternity.
Drain me to the very threshold of death. Blood. It came as a dull roar at first, and then a pounding. Like the pounding of a drum.
Page
Growing
18 of
louder
my copy of Interview with the
and
Vampire.
As if some enormous creature were coming through a dark and alien forest.
Holy Jesus.
Drum.
He's so captivating.
And then there came a pounding of another drum, as if another giant were coming
He's
behind.
busting a knot back there.
Giant
He's
intent
having
on
the
his
time
own
of his
drum,
life.
giving no
You know I'll take you there.
throbbing, my lips, fingers, and flesh of my temple. Above all, in my veins, drum and then the other drum.
Oh my God. He falls backwards, spilling out of his mouth, and he opens his eyes. And what do we see? What do we see when he opens his eyes?
And it was then that
Like
I
cathedral
realized
windows.
the
He's
drum
changed.
was my heart. And the other drum had been his. I saw him sitting a length away from me. Radiant. And we sat there for some time. In Throes of Increasing Wonder. The end. The beginning.
The end. The beginning. Listen. I said we're not seeing any more tears from this bitch, and we're not gonna. Alright, you're not gonna see any more tears. Never in my wildest dreams did I ever imagine that this show would be any good. I thought this show was destined for failure. I wanted it to be good because I really loved Jacob Anderson from Game of Thrones, and all I cared about was him having a good show, but in my heart I was like, this doesn't seem like it's gonna start off well. And look at me now. Look at me now. Who knew? Who knew the lonely girl who was sitting on this couch in 2022 watching this episode for the first time would just have her entire life upended by what she just witnessed. And with that, I say goodbye to you all. Goodbye to this lovely little creature here who's kept me afloat throughout all of this, through these wonderful experiences. I'm gonna miss you, bitch. You're my #1 supporter. You're the only element of stability that I've had in my life for these past 3 years. So thanks for being here. And to you guys, hey, I'll see you in Denver, okay?
Yeah.
For one final time.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see this, but this shot glass is filled to the ever-loving brink. This is a perfect representation of my sanity at any given moment. Just one tiny little millimeter of movement away from spilling over the edge and all hell breaking loose. Thank you to Sophia for this lovely shot glass. Oh, there goes the drips. She's already dripping. Fuck. Thank you, Sophia. And thank you all for hanging around. Oh, yeah. Don't stop it. Stop. In 2 days, this carpet is not my problem anymore. Yow! Yow! That's what we call a wrap on apartment K8 for Autumn Bottom Brown. All right. I'm going to cry so much in the next day when I'm packing all this shit up. I'm going to cry so much. I'm going to be hydrating though. The couch might be changing, but this is not.